rebuild trust, rebuild trust. Trust, trust, trust. Trust, trust is trustees. Trust and trusteeship. As trustees, to rebuild trust as trustees. Trust, to rebuild trust, trusteeship. To rebuild trust, our trusteeship.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having an amazing day. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Bryony, and on this channel, I post social commentary and social media reactions. So if that sounds good, please consider subscribing. And it's February, the month of love. So I'm sending you all, mwah, all of my love. And as it's February, Davos 2024, the World Economic Forum's annual meeting is over. And their theme this year, get this, rebuilding trust. I know, the irony, right? We don't trust them. But anyway, let's have a look at this table of, it says at the top here, global risks ranked by severity. So these are the main topics that they were focusing on in their annual meeting this year. And right at the tippy top, the number one biggest global risk, according to the WEF, is misinformation and disinformation. Yes, but let's keep scrolling down the list, and you can also see that they've listed cyber insecurity, technological power concentration, censorship and surveillance, adverse outcomes of AI technologies, and adverse outcomes of frontier technologies. So these were the main topics that they were talking about under the theme of rebuilding trust. So here's a little interview with Klaus Schwab discussing why rebuilding trust was the theme of Davos 2024.
Now, why did we choose the theme or the motto rebuilding trust? If we compare the world today with the world before we had the COVID pandemics, we find a completely different mood. First, the world has become very fearful, very fragmented, of course, and in such a situation, trust have vanished. We have lost trust to a certain extent in each another, because we all have become under the pressure of the crisis, of the multiple crises. We have become more egoistic. So, and if you are more egoistic, you think first of yourself, and this distorts an atmosphere of trust. So if we want to recreate, and that's the objective of the annual meetings this year, we want to recreate a new spirit, a much more constructive spirit. Again, looking forward and having confidence in our future. And that's the reason why we have chosen this theme, rebuilding trust.
Wow, I wonder why people have lost trust in governments and institutions after COVID. Could it be because it was such an obvious psyop to see how far they could push people towards giving up their individual rights and liberties? And it's so interesting to me that he would comment on it, people's fear being so egocentric. I think that it's more important than ever that we are focusing on our own individual rights and liberties and focusing on the strength of our smaller communities and our nations. But you've got to remember, these are globalists, right? They don't want us thinking on an individual or community or nationalist level. They want us to think global. And that's why I think that it's really interesting that he would say that it was egocentric, that people have fear and mistrust in governments and institutions and in groups like the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and the UN. Their plan to rebuild trust is to focus on what they're calling misinformation and disinformation. They want to censor free speech online, to stamp out dissent and information sharing. Videos just like this one. They want us to rely solely on corporate media, which they own, to get all of our news and information. We'll be basically drowning in their propaganda, unable to have these sorts of conversations or to ask questions or to share new ideas. Anything that might go against their narrative. It's going to be misinformation and disinformation. And that's why all of these online safety bills and laws are popping up all over the world in all of the Western countries. Now we're going to watch some of Klaus Schwab's introductory speech at Davos 2024, in which he's talking about rebuilding trust.
To break this cycle, we need a paradigm shift. We must rebuild trust, and that's actually the theme of our meeting. We have to rebuild trust, acting as trustees for a better future. As trustees of the future, we are responsible for advancing a world which is richer in possibilities, more equitable in opportunities, and more secure in its foundations. As leaders in government, business, and society, we bear a particular responsibility to rebuild trust in how we assume our own role as trustees. Trust is a fundamental pillar of our social, economic, and political lives. It is vital for cooperation, social cohesion, and effectively functioning institutions. To rebuild trust, there is a fundamental need to embody trusteeship, which means to care for the greater good. Let's use this annual meeting to rebuild trust by exercising our trusteeship individually and collectively for safeguarding the future of humanity and nature.
Whoever appointed them as the trustees? The World Economic Forum and other things such as the World Health Organization and the UN, these are unelected, self-appointed trustees of our future. And they want to stop us from questioning their agendas. And in that way, they think they're going to rebuild trust. Censorship is their goal. Misinformation, that's just their propaganda. I really feel like people started to wake up during this scamdemic, and I feel like groups such as the World Economic Forum proved just how untrustworthy they really are. They've put themselves in this position of trustees and stewards of our future, but we don't trust the future that they have planned for us. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you didn't like it, just hit the dislike button and tell me what you didn't like about it down below in the comments. In my next video, I'll be talking about the World Economics Plan to completely tear apart the agriculture industry under the guise of climate change. So guys, if that sounds interesting, stay tuned for my next video. And until then, mwah! Bye!